They don't want you to know this, but there's a brain technique so powerful that it has been quietly suppressed for decades. Not because it poses any physical danger, but because it has the potential to make introverts outthink even the most brilliant minds. If you're someone who prefers thinking over speaking, if you've ever felt underestimated due to your quiet nature, this is for you. This isn't hype. This is a concealed mental strategy used by history's greatest thinkers. And it works because your brain is wired differently. Forget about loud confidence. This is about profound intelligence. Once you grasp this banned brain hack, your quiet mind won't just keep up, it will surpass them. 1. The false belief about intelligence. You've been misled your whole life. Told that intelligence is something you either have or you don't. That some people are simply born gifted while others are destined to lag behind. Perhaps you watch someone solve problems effortlessly or articulate thoughts with incredible clarity and thought, I wish I had a mind like that. And almost instantly, a small voice inside whispers, but I wasn't born that smart. That's a trap, that's a conditioning, and it's completely false. No one ever told you that intelligence isn't a fixed trait. It's a system, a process, a way of utilizing your brain that can be developed, refined, and enhanced. The individuals you admire for their brilliance weren't always that way. They simply learned to think differently, employing mental frameworks most people were never taught. And here's what most miss. Introverts are naturally suited for this style of thinking. Not loud, not showy, but structured, deep, and focused. The kind of mind that, when trained, doesn't just absorb information quickly. It perceives what others fail to notice. That's where your advantage begins. 2. How school slowed your mind down. Let's be honest. School never really taught you how to think. It taught you how to memorize, follow instructions, and conform. Sit still, raise your hand, obey the rules. That wasn't education. It was conditioning. For introverts, especially, the classroom often felt like a place where your natural way of processing information was ignored or misunderstood. You were never slow, you were silent, but silence was mistaken for weakness. Traditional schooling wasn't designed to cultivate deep thinkers. It was built to maintain order, not brilliance. Those who shouted answers the fastest received the praise, even if they lacked true understanding. Meanwhile, the quiet observers, the deep thinkers, the ones who question and analyze, were often overlooked. That system conditioned your brain to play small, to second-guess your insights, suppress your instincts, and doubt your curiosity. It forced introverts to conform to extroverted learning styles that didn't align with their natural strengths. But your mind was never flawed. It was built for more depth, more focus, more imagination. You were simply never given the manual. While others were trained to memorize, you have the capacity to simulate, to visualize, to internalize ideas until they become second nature. That's the true path to intelligence. And the system intentionally kept it from you. But now, you're about to discover for yourself. 3. The forbidden brain hack, hypervisualization. The brain hack you're about to learn isn't new. It's ancient, powerful, and has been discreetly used by some of the greatest minds in history. It remains hidden because it doesn't align with traditional education systems. It's called hypervisualization, and for introverts, it's an untapped superpower. Most people are taught to think in words, lists, and definitions. But geniuses? They think in images. Instead of reading about ideas, they experience them in their minds like vivid movies. Einstein once envisioned himself riding a beam of light, not just studying equations, but feeling time itself. Tesla built entire machines in his imagination, tested them mentally, and observed them functioning before ever touching a tool. This wasn't luck. It was deliberate mental simulation. Introverts naturally inhabit rich inner worlds. Your capacity to imagine, reflect, and daydream isn't distraction. It's a gateway to advanced thinking. When you visualize ideas rather than just memorize them, you engage more of your brain, making the knowledge sink in deeper and faster. This is how you begin thinking like a genius, not by recalling facts, but by experiencing ideas as if they were real. 4. The introvert's edge, deep focus mode. One of the most powerful traits introverts possess is the ability to focus deeply. While society glorifies multitasking and external stimulation, true intelligence often emerges from quiet, uninterrupted concentration. something introverts naturally excel at. You don't need noise, attention, or endless stimulation to stay engaged. In fact, your brain thrives in silence, where thoughts can expand and evolve without pressure. This state of deep mental immersion is where high-level thinking occurs, where you stop skimming the surface and start truly seeing. You begin recognizing patterns, making connections, and solving problems that others rush past. Most people get distracted within minutes, but you have the power to enter a flow state, where time fades away and only the idea remains. And you don't need hours of this. Even just 20 to 30 minutes a day of focused thinking can rewire how your brain operates. It could be through journaling, studying, constructing something, or simply sitting quietly and mentally dissecting an idea from every angle. The world may call it zoning out, but you know better. That's where real genius is cultivated, not in the noise, but in the stillness where your mind finally breathes. 5. The quiet genius formula. If you've ever been told that you think too much, you're not alone. But what if that deep thinking wasn't a problem? It was untapped genius waiting to be directed. Introverts naturally explore thoughts from multiple angles. The key isn't to silence that inner voice, it's to refine it. Because when guided properly, quiet minds don't just think more, they think better. True intelligence isn't about having all the answers. It's about asking better questions. Introverts instinctively reflect before reacting, observe before judging, and analyze before accepting. These habits are the foundation of high-level problem solving. And when combined with the power of visualization, curiosity transforms into a superpower. Quiet thinkers possess a unique ability to create layers of understanding. You might begin with one idea, then subconsciously link it to a story you read, a conversation you overheard, or a random thought from weeks ago. That isn't coincidence. That's your brain performing complex, layered thinking, the kind that generates original insights others overlook. You don't need to force this process. You just need to trust it. Because when quiet minds are honed with intention, they don't just understand the world, they reshape it. In a world that rewards noise, speed, and surface-level opinions, being a deep thinker can feel like a disadvantage. But seeing more than others, thinking more deeply, and processing information thoroughly isn't a weakness. It's your greatest strength. The challenge is protecting your mental energy while maintaining clarity. You don't need to match the world's volume to succeed. Your quiet strength allows you to notice what others miss. But to remain sharp, you need boundaries, not just with people, but with information. Constant noise clouds thinking and drains the power that makes you exceptional. Learning to observe without absorbing everything is a skill in itself. The world will always be loud, but you don't have to let it in. Silence, solitude, and stillness aren't things to avoid. They're tools to refine your mind. You weren't meant to compete with chaos. You were built to rise above it, calmly, clearly, and with purpose. Because in the quiet, your true power begins to speak.